Eala walked off the court in Toronto and looked up at the crowd one more time. She knew something the fans in the stadium did not know yet. She later told reporters she knew this was going to be her last time on that court for a while. Her amazing run in Toronto had just ended, but what she said after the loss showed a side of her that fans had not seen all week. Eala is 21 years old and comes from the Philippines. She had just lost to Belinda Bencic at the National Bank Open in Toronto. The score was 6-4, 6-0, and the match lasted only 73 minutes. It was a hard way to end a run that had shocked the tennis world. Eala had won 7 matches in a row before this loss, and fans across Toronto had packed the stands every single night to watch her play. After the match, Eala sat down for her press conference and did not hide how she felt. She said Bencic played really well and put her in tough situations all match. She admitted she was not able to get out of a certain mood on court, but she also said the week overall was a really good one, and that she was proud of the run she had just finished. Then came the moment that explains the title of this story. A reporter asked her about looking at the crowd and smiling as she walked off. Eala said she knew it was the last time she was going to be on that court for a while. She said the atmosphere all week had been incredible, and that it was hard to describe the feeling of standing in that stadium, with the fans cheering for her every single point. This was not Eala's first big moment of the summer. Just days before Toronto, she won her first ever WTA title at the Mubadala DC Open in Washington. She beat the world number 3, Jessica Pegula, in the final. That win made her the first player from the Philippines to ever win a WTA singles title, and it pushed her ranking to a career high of number 20 in the world. She arrived in Toronto ranked 25th in the tournament, but the ticket sales did not match that ranking at all. Tournament director Carl Hale said her session sold close to 5,000 tickets, even though the smaller show court only holds 800 seats. Organizers had to move her match to the main stadium because the smaller court could not hold the number of fans who wanted to see her play. Hale said he had never seen a player ranked outside the top 5 create that kind of demand before. The crowd in Toronto turned into a sea of Philippine flags every night Eala played. Vendors even added Filipino adobo to the food stands for the first time in the tournament's history. Families who had never watched a tennis match in their lives showed up just to see her. That is the atmosphere Eala was talking about when she said she was grateful for her time in the city. Eala walked through the toughest draw of her career and became the first player from the Philippines to ever win a double E singles title. This isn't hype, this is the real-time rise of a superstar, and the entire tennis world stopped to react. Let's talk about who she beat, because this wasn't a lucky run. In the first round, she took down the Olympic champion, Qinwen Zheng. In the second round, she knocked out the defending champion, Leylah Fernandez. Then she beat Naomi Osaka, a 4-time major champion, and followed that up by eliminating the world No. 1 seed on her way to the final. 3 top seeds gone in a single week. Analysts on the desk called it exactly what it was. She absorbed the power from big hitters like Zheng and Osaka and turned it right back against them, with a return game that's become, in their words, absolutely deadly. Then came the final against Jessica Pegula, and this is where the story gets wild. Pegula came out sharp and took the first set 6-4. Eala clawed back into the second set, winning it on serve, and then the rain hit. Play was suspended. The match got frozen mid-second set, and both players had to walk off, go to bed, and come back the next day to finish at a final that literally spanned 24 hours across 2 separate days. When they resumed, something had shifted. Pegula, who had just 20 unforced errors before the delay, came back out and racked up 30 unforced errors after it, wildly uncharacteristic for a player with her experience. Meanwhile, Eala just got bolder. Analysts described her as fearless, aggressive early in points, cranking up the miles per hour on her forehand, and she closed it out by taking the third set 6-1 to win her first career WTA title. Think about what that means for Pegula too. This was her 23rd career WTA final, and she just went to the negative side of her record, now sitting at 11 wins and 12 losses in title matches. And yet she stood on that podium and, with total class, told the crowd how much Eala has transformed women's tennis. How everyone in the building was there to see her play. That's the kind of sportsmanship that made this moment even bigger. Now let's get inside Eala's head, because her own words after the match are where this story really hits. She said the last 24 hours were a blur. She'd warmed up what felt like 1,000 times waiting through the delay, and when she finally hit that match point, she says she basically blacked out. Everything just came rushing at her at once. She talked about being nervous before the final points and trying to channel that nervous energy into moving her feet and hitting clean committed balls. And when it was over, she dropped straight to the ground. She wasn't just carrying her own dream on her shoulders either. Eala has become a genuine national symbol back in the Philippines. She even received a presidential commendation after her breakout run to the second week at Wimbledon earlier this year. She talked openly about how heavy that recognition can feel in the moment, how overwhelming it is to experience these firsts in real time, but how tennis has been her whole life since she was a kid. And competing under pressure is the one thing she knows how to do no matter what. And her fan base is turning into its own storyline. Exactly 1 year ago, Eala wasn't even in the top 50 of women's tennis. She was ranked 65th in the world. Days before that, she lost in the first round of the Canadian Open. Fast forward 12 months, and she's standing on center court in Washington, D.C., holding her first ever WTA trophy, having just beaten the world number 3, Jessica Pegula, in 3 sets. That's not a slow climb. That's an explosion. And today I'm breaking down exactly how it happened, in her own words, in her coach's words, and in the words of the woman who just lost to her. Let's start with the moment nobody expected. Pegula, the runner-up, the top seed who'd barely lost a final all 2026 season, walking up to the mic seconds after defeat and calling Eala an amazing player, not through gritted teeth. She talked about watching Eala grow over the last couple years, about how tough she is to face, and about genuinely enjoying the atmosphere Eala's fans bring to every tournament. That's rival respect, live, unscripted, right after a loss. Then it was Eala's turn. And here's the detail that actually tells you who she is. Her first words as champion weren't about herself. She turned straight to Pegula and thanked her for an amazing week, specifically praising her forehand and backhand, saying she was still learning from her, even in a match she just won. Then came the thank yous: her mom, her dad, her brother, her team, calling them her inner circle, the people who make her feel like she's not carrying this alone. She thanked the tournament for moving the final to a Monday after rain wiped out the original schedule, and she called it memorable instead of a disaster. Then she turned to the crowd, specifically the Filipino community, in D.C. and back home, and said she felt all the love. She even revealed that the night before the final, she got flooded with messages from friends and family scattered across tour, and that alone made her feel like, win or lose, this tournament was already a win.